Are you sick and tired of paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars of healthcare insurance premiums every month, only to be rewarded with a deductible that could buy you a used car? What if I told you you could save thousands of dollars a year on your health insurance and healthcare costs by exploring some alternatives to traditional health insurance? I'm Dr. Trevor Miner. I'm a physical therapist, and on this channel we talk about everything related to home health, as well as some other general topics that are applicable to physical therapists. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing to the channel. Go ahead and like this video, and I hope to see you around. Now, this may sound like a gimmick, but I assure you that it's not. About 4 years ago, when my wife quit her job at a big bank that had awesome health insurance benefits, we were forced to explore the benefits that I had available and to make some decisions. I quickly realized that using traditional health insurance was going to set me back thousands and thousands of dollars a year. At that point, I looked into the different alternatives and I found a solution that met my needs and the needs of my family, in addition to satisfying the requirements for the Affordable Care Act. Now, at this point, those things aren't enforced for the Affordable Care Act, but this is an excellent alternative to health insurance, and I'm going to tell you all about it. All right, so what I'm talking about is a healthcare sharing organization. And the one that I enrolled in specifically is called Christian Healthcare Ministries. Now, you may have heard this term before, these healthcare sharing organizations, and you may not. But simply put, it is not insurance. Instead, it's a group of like-minded people that help to share the costs of everyone within that group. It actually makes a lot more sense than traditional health insurance does. Now, if you look around, there are a lot of different health shares, as they're commonly referred to, but they're not all equivalent. In fact, there's some that are just downright bad. So you need to do your research. For me, I chose Christian Healthcare Ministries because they've been doing this since 1981, and they've literally shared billions of dollars of health bills, okay? When I saw this and I learned about some of the experiences that people had using this service, I was immediately sold. So let me tell you how this works. Okay, the first thing you have to understand is what a unit is. A unit qualifies as one adult or all of the kids in a family. So for a typical family with 2 adults and kids, you're looking at a total of 3 units. Now, your cost for each unit in a given month ranges from $78 for the very base level coverage or assistance up to $172 per month. Under Christian Healthcare Ministries, there's 3 different levels you can subscribe to: gold, silver, and bronze. Now, bronze comes in at $78 a month and silver at $118 a month. And the most simple way to look at these 2 benefits is that you pay anything for an expense that's less than their kind of threshold number. It's not really deductible, but it's similar to a deductible. So under the bronze plan, if you have any medical illness, any issue that is under $5,000, you pay the entire cost. If you go over $5,000, then they cover the amount above that $5,000. For the silver plan, that number is $2,500. Now, the gold plan, which comes in at $172 per unit per month, works a little bit differently. So instead with this, the threshold is $500. And how it works is any expenses for an illness that are less than $500, you're going to pay outright. However, as soon as an illness goes over $500, they pay the entire amount, including that first $500. Now, the sharing amount for a given illness tops out at $125,000. So if you have something that goes over $125,000, what you can do is add on an additional benefit called Brother's Keeper. Of course, you need to add that on beforehand, but it is an option. Brother's Keeper extends the benefit amount under the gold plan to have no limit at all. So you could have $1 million worth of medical expenses, and that would be completely covered if you've added on the Brother's Keeper benefit. Now, the cost you pay for the Brother's Keeper benefit, it fluctuates a little bit. And the reason why is because if people have needs that exceed that $125,000, then you may pay a little bit more in a given month compared to other months. Now, you may also pay less if the needs in the group happen to be less that month as well. It's actually really cool to see that, hey, I paid $5 extra this month, but that was because there were these people that had these big bills that needed to be paid. It makes it feel a lot better when you're paying this monthly premium. Now, what my family does, and really the only thing that I would recommend, is going with the Gold plan. So I have 3 units on the Gold plan, which currently comes up to $516 a month. And then in addition to that, I pay for the Brother's Keeper add-on for all 3 units. So for me, that averages out to about $48 a month when you take into account the different fees that are associated with the Brother's Keeper. With that said, the total amount being $564 a month is not a bad deal when compared to the insurance options that I get that are $900 a month with a $10,000 deductible. This is actually quite an awesome deal. So as I said, if you're on the Gold plan, there's a $500 threshold for a given illness where the benefit kicks in. So if you have an illness that costs more than $500 total between all the services you need, then that entire illness is covered in the form of a reimbursement by Christian Healthcare Ministries. Now, my family and I have been on this plan for nearly 4 years now, and we've had a tremendous experience. Nothing that we thought was going to be covered was not covered. In other words, we've been reimbursed for everything that we anticipated being reimbursed for. And I am growing in my confidence in recommending this program to anybody who's looking for an affordable alternative to health insurance. Now, I'm going to share with you just a couple examples of how my family has used Christian Healthcare Ministries. When we had our most recent child, we were on Christian Healthcare Ministries, and as you can imagine, the total cost for that is over $500. So, of course, everything was covered. That's from the first visit my wife had with her physician all the way through 6 weeks after delivery, including the first follow-up visits for the baby and my wife, and all the expenses in the hospital. 100% covered. This is incredible. And not only that, a few months after the delivery of the baby, we got a call from a member of the Christian Healthcare Ministries team congratulating us on the birth of the baby. And that in and of itself just was in stark contrast to the normal sort of feeling you get from your insurance company. To have that group reach out and congratulate us, even though they had to pay out $10,000 or so for the delivery of the baby, that was tremendous. Now, another example is when one of our kids gets a cold or maybe has an ear infection or something. The total cost for that is very low. We've negotiated rates with our pediatrician. We usually pay $35 or $40 total for an office visit for a pediatrician. And so if in the case of, an ear infection, we go in, we pay that amount to the pediatrician and then pay another $10 or so using GoodRx. And, the total cost is usually $50 or less. Now, because that's less than $500, of course you pay. But that's no big deal when you're saving so much money. All right, so how does it work when you go to get medical care? It's really simple. You inform your provider that you don't have insurance, essentially that you're cash pay. But you can also let them know that you are part of a health share. More and more providers are becoming aware of what this is, and they're making it easier and easier to work with them. Now, typically you want to negotiate the best price you can so that Christian Healthcare Ministries is going to pay out as little as possible, thus keeping the cost down for the group. You're incentivized to negotiate the lowest rate that your provider will offer you. So if you have a bill that's very low and you're able to pay it at the time of service or closely thereafter, you're encouraged to pay that bill. But if it's a very large bill, say from a hospital or something that was unexpected, Christian Healthcare Ministries requests that you go on a payment plan and request the bill. What they do in that situation is they call and negotiate on your behalf to get the price down as low as possible. And they have a lot of data to go off of to know how much they should be paying for all the different codes that are being billed. Once that illness is completed, or if it's ongoing, you can just submit all of the bills that you have to Christian Healthcare Ministries, and within about 75 or so days, you receive a check in the mail for the total amount of all of your bills. It's really that simple. Now, here's a few things that I love about Christian Healthcare Ministries. You get to choose your own providers. You're not restricted to anyone or any specific institution. So you can seek out the best, find the best reviews, and go and see the providers that you feel are going to help your family the most. Next, you can be confident that Christian Healthcare Ministries will be able to reimburse you for your healthcare costs. They've literally been doing this for 40 years and have a tremendous track record. Based on my experiences with Christian Healthcare Ministries, I can wholeheartedly recommend it to anyone and everyone that I come into contact with. Now, if you're considering using Christian Healthcare Ministries, please use my link down below. That lets them know that I sent you, and that would really help out a lot. Thank you so much. Now, if you have any questions about Christian Healthcare Ministries or health shares or anything like that, just comment down below. I will answer every question that I can or point you in the right direction so you can get that answer. There are certain things related to pre-existing conditions or things like that that you might want to be aware of that might be applicable to you. Thank you for watching today, and I hope to catch you all in the next one. Have a good one.